Jeden svět. Mezinárodní filmový festival o lidských právech. 20. března až 21. dubna po celém Česku. Pořádá Člověk v tísni.
They're starting to emerge. For several years they've lived underground as larvae. Now, in just 7 days, hundreds of the adults dance together and mate. Before they lay eggs in cinemas.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ivana Formanová and I'm the KineDok manager.
And hello, I'm Dominik Vontor and I'm coordinator of KineDok project.
It is our pleasure to welcome you here today at the How to Set Up a Screening Venue launch of the KineDok manual. And for those of you who don't know KineDok is one of the activities of the Institute of Documentary Film. It is a project based at a community-driven distribution outside cinemas. So basically we organize screenings in cafes, bars, or even site-specific screenings such as boats or castles. And this program today is part of the EastDoc platform, which is an annual event organized also by the Institute of Documentary Film. It is one of the biggest industry events focusing on Central and Eastern Europe. And this year, the theme of EastDoc platform highlights the importance of documentary film and also the IDF's relationship to it. It is our soft spot, a refuge where the complexities of human condition are explored with passion and curiosity.
This evening KineDok program is very complex. You will witness a different variety of outcomes that we prepared for you. We try to reflect the idea of soft spot in our workshop for students who came here to Czech Republic or to Prague just to have 2 days intense training in developing their own ideas, producing their own documentary films, and finally screening them for you in public. We are very happy that Gymnasium Teplice from Ústecký region came to Prague to EastDoc platform, and they really underwent through 2 days with our wonderful mentors to deliver an interesting kind of documentary genre videos that will be presented during this evening. This KineDok launch is most importantly about the manual itself. We prepared a panel discussion with another community-driven distributors and cultural organizers in other European countries. So this is something that waits for you after the first block of the short films. And really most importantly, there is big shout out to everyone who participated in working on the manual. And namely, I would like to shout out Hanna Kulhanková, who is the editor of the manual. And please join me in welcoming her on stage. The floor is yours. First of all, thank you very much. And now you have just a few minutes to introduce what was your work and what's the manual about. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this lovely introduction. I just am blushing, not only from the wine, but also from your words. because okay, being called an editor, what it really means. It means that it meant for me that I had a chance to be part of this truly collaborative work of great people, great expert in many fields, people who love cinema, people who love places where they work, people who love places that they founded, people who love their audiences. And every now and then I wrote them an email and telling, oh, deadline is approaching, I'm waiting for your text. Okay. Now deadline is really approaching. Check the schedule, it's really approaching. I'm really waiting for your text, and the text came. And I read through them, commented, and when I couldn't do it anymore, Ivana took this editor's role for me, so she should definitely be a co-editor of this manual. But for me overall, the experience was really great because I had a chance to meet people who really believe in the power of cinema, who really believe in power of watching films together, discussing them, and making changes. It can be even changes that you finally find courage to discuss topics that with people who have different opinions, or that you finally decide to visit a place in your town or city that you know about, that they screen films. And I'm really happy that like our work on the manual is finished, and that now it's everywhere. It can like fly everywhere in the world because it's available on the website for free in all the languages of the partners that participated in the in writing of the manual. And I will just kind of take you through what is in the manual. Is on the KineDok website under manual there on the top, and I really like it. I really like the yellow color that they use because it just reminds me of spring and of the warm weather that is finally coming to Prague also. And so together with all the collaborators on the manual, we decided on topics that are crucial for anyone who would like to screen films legally to audiences. So first we started with kind of a short chapter about what documentary film really is nowadays, because there are so many different versions of what documentary film is, and the author of this chapter asked AI what documentary is, so it starts with that. Then we followed with that KineDok is really showing films to people. So what it really means, if you have a place where there is some community or people who come regularly, or you don't have it, and how to really get people into your space. Then, as Ivana mentioned at the beginning, KineDok films are screened in so many different locations, not in typical cinemas, but in cafes, bars. You saw lots of photos from outside. Sometimes it's very site-specific. Sometimes films are screened in community centers to different audiences. So that was chapter on that. As you also see at the beginning of this lovely afternoon, technical problems can come anytime. You can prepare as much as you can till every point in your kind of schedule, but technical problems happen, so we also focus on that. Big part of KineDok work and big part of the is curation. Even though that KineDok offers every year about between 12 and 15 films that people can choose from, not all the venues are able to screen everything, so it's really up to the venue coordinators to really choose which films are the best for their communities. And again, communication with the audience, even though that lots of the places don't have big budgets, they are really community-driven, do very like low-cost events. There is still possibility to do a bit of promotion or to really try to find new audiences. So there is chapter about that as well. And yeah, and again, audience is really core center of KineDok activities. So another chapter on audience and how to really find them. And there is also because KineDok screenings are happening also in countries where there isn't freedom of culture expression, there is censorship. So there is a case study from Georgia, what it really means to make independent films in Georgia, and also what it means to screen them. So really interesting chapter. And again, chapter that focuses on audiences, but on the young people, because you can also screen films not only to adults, but also to young kids. So there is experience from Doku Kino in Zagreb, right? They have like lots of experience with different activities, but also on focusing on screening to kids. And the last chapter is, of course, promotion of KineDok. So if anybody here in the audience is interested in joining KineDok, read the last chapter first, and you will find what it means to join KineDok. It's for free. It's really easy, and you will be part of a really wonderful community of people, not only in the Czech Republic, but also abroad. And now I would like to welcome on stage people who are the contributors of the manual. So Ivana is here, mother of KineDok. I love her. Then I would like to welcome Sabi from Hungary, who wrote 2 chapters, Andrea from Romania, Mariam from Georgia, and Veronika. I don't know if Veronika Hanakova is here. Okay, so she should be here as well. So if you want to say a few words, how your experience was.
Well, it was a long journey, first of all, because we started with a kind of research. We approached the venues themselves and the venue managers. We call them venue managers, but actually they are just like screen movies. And we started with them, and afterwards it was like a lot of work to arrive to this point, and I'm really happy with it, that to see it. And also what I really love, which is very inspirational, I think that we have a lot of visual content in it, so beautiful photos, which really gives you the feeling that I want to participate in this kind of screenings, or I want to organize my own screenings. This is my feeling.
Okay, so if you pass the mic.
Oh, yes.
For me, it was also a very nice experience. It was my first experience in writing a chapter, and came very natural and very. It was kind of a pleasure because it came from 9 years of experience in KineDok. So everything, it was so practical, and it was much more easier to write it than I expected. So I hope you enjoy it, and it is useful for everybody.
Hello, thanks for having me. It was really an interesting experience for me as well. I worked on 2 chapters about technical challenges while setting up a screening venue, and it's really common in Georgia because sometimes you might not have internet in the cinema building. So another one is film screenings under pressure, and I'm so happy to see many students in the audience, because I think it will be really useful for cinema enthusiasts who really want to make documentary films popular in their towns, cities, or villages. So yeah, I'm really honored to contribute to this menu. Thank you.
Okay, so this is kind of all from me. The big shout out for these 4 people that really contributed a lot. And if you want to ask more, so come to them. They are the ones. And now I'm free and I can go to have ice cream with my kids who are here in the front row, just making faces at me. So thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the program.
Wow, thank you very much for those 2 films that we just saw. Now the time is for our international colleagues and to discuss more and to go more deep into the subject matter of communities and screenings and cultural events. So the discussion that follows will delve with the topics such as that. And it is my pleasure to welcome on stage my colleague Herza Tydlitátová, who is the moderator of this session. She's the moderator from Czech Radio. So Anna, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here with you. I think Ivana said all the important stuff, so let's welcome our guests. This will be Magdalena Żelasko, representing Let's See Film Festival, the EU Youth Cinema Green Deal project. Magdalena, thank you. It will also be Rebecka Borgström of Doc Lounge Distribution and Screening Network from Sweden. Also Angelika Schuster, representing One World Film Clubs from Austria, also. Angelika. Karla Melichnová of Promítej, Czech Republic. And Szabolcs, Szirony from KineDok Hungary. You've seen him already on stage here. Okay, thank you. Okay, please. Yes. Yes, thank you, thank you. All of you can grab a mic. You just have to push the red button for a long time to put it on. Maybe we can do a technical check if all of them work. Okay, this one's good.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Hello.
Okay, so
This one
good.
also.
Yes. Yes, thanks for the water. So, pleasure being here with you. First of all, I'd like to ask my guests to tell me what kind of institution do they represent? Well, I actually said that already, but what do they do in their organization, and why did they get into community screening organizing? So, can we start with you, Karla?
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Karla Melichnová and I represent One World Film Festival, which is doing this community screening service called Promítej, which could be translated to English as screen it yourself or something like that. And it's similar to what KineDok does, but we have our own selection, we have our own, what did you call it? Venue managers, or how did you say? It was a good translation of that. Yeah, and they register at our platform and they can pick the film for free and screen it at their community. For example, at a cafe, at a charity organization, and all stuff like that. So it varies from like tens of people to like maybe 4 in the audience. It varies a lot. So that's our service.
And why did you personally get into this kind of job? What do you enjoy?
Well, I enjoy to talk to people who don't usually go to festivals like this, because it's very interesting, because usually these type of festivals are maybe for like a specific bubble of people that are like in the know. They are reading the news and like are very educated and like are keeping themselves updated. But this service can bring these documentaries and like especially human rights topics to people that would usually not get to see them. They are not in Prague. They are not close to any city that also has our festival in the regional part of the festival. So they can see, like, for example, topics that they would never come across otherwise.
Thanks. I'm sure we'll get into that deeper. Of course, you can check out the manual. There's a lot about these topics. Angelika, can I get to you? Is it Angelika or Angelika? Sorry.
Angelika, but
Angelika.
Yeah, it's almost international.
So, Angelika, you just came from Vienna today?
Yeah.
You like?
Some days ago.
Some days ago, okay. Can you tell us a bit about your organization and why do you personally enjoy your job?
I'm from the One World Film Clubs, and we encourage and support young people from the age 14 to 19 to set up and organize a film club in the neighborhood. This could be the school or a youth club or something in the surrounding where they can have a room or something else for free. They get the films from us. We have a mediathek with about more or less 130 films. And they can approach us always with all the questions they have. We help them choose a film, the right film for them, because everybody who has attended a festival knows the catalog, and even more 130 films, this is too much. To choose, we speak with them, they can contact us when I know what they're interested in, or we exchange through phone or personally. I can advise them some films. And they all have, they all are documentaries, this is very important. They have human rights topic, normally they choose, it's a little bit the same what you said before. Most of them never saw a documentary before. A lot, or almost 100%, don't know what documentaries are. They have the possibility to look across the border and get out of the bubbles. This is a feedback we always get. Yeah, and they have to give us a feedback after each screening.
Very good. We need the data, definitely. But what about your personal interest? What do you like about your job?
For me, it's very nice to be in contact with the young people, the exchange, to let them. I think for me these screenings when I was young, I found it always nice to do something in a group, to exchange, to have an experience together, to watch a movie, discuss it afterwards. And I think for me it's nice to give them the opportunity to do this together. And my colleague is over there, Tristan, and me, we made documentaries before, and we love documentaries, and we want to give these kind of films, we want to spread it.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. Rebecka, let's move on to you. Yes. What's the situation like in Sweden?
So, hello everybody. My name is Rebecka, and I work at Doc Lounge. And Doc Lounge worked with showcasing previews of new Nordic and international documentaries. And our aim is to attract new audiences to the documentary scene, and also to create new, fun, innovative ways of presenting them. So what I do, I'm the project manager for one of there's like 12 Doc Lounge clubs throughout Sweden and Finland, and I am a project manager for the Doc Lounge club in Malmö. So my job is to arrange the events within the screenings. So it can be everything from booking the director or live musicians to create the concept, the communication, and be the host for the event, and etc.
So that's a lot of work. That's a lot of positions all in one.
Yes, it is.
Why do you do that?
Why do I do that? So I was studying event coordination in education, and I also was working in this coffee shop. And at this coffee shop, there were one of the regulars who were there every day buying coffee. And he was one of the founder of Doc Lounge.
Oh, cool.
So it basically was, I did my internship there, and I really enjoyed creating events with documentaries around.
Feeling cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Magdalena, did you ever work in a coffee shop?
No, but I worked at the bank, for example.
At a bank?
Even if I was a very poor student at maths, and I can remember as I told this to my math teacher, and she asked me, really? And does this bank still exist? She was really scared, so yes.
How about now? What kind of skills that you learned in the bank can you use in your current job? And what do you do?
A lot of, because I'm general manager of association Let's See Film Festival. We also do project like Youth Cinema Green Deal. And I'm responsible for everything. Of course, I have a great team, but still applications and taxes and everything. So now I'm really thankful that I worked a few years at the bank and I still can manage this. Yeah, and during the festival, our festival had focus on Central Eastern Europe. So we were kind of brothers and sisters with Institute of Documentary Films. We even hosted a wonderful program, East Silver Caravan. And then we never got enough money from the city of Vienna and other public institutions. And someday it was a point during COVID pandemic that we decided to go another way to make something different. And then we applied for the funds from the European Union, and luckily we got this. So now we make a project which is dedicated to young audiences, and it's about green habits, ecology, climate action. We present films in cinemas in 12 countries, and we have also a streaming platform which will be relaunched these days. And I'm very happy that I'm able to work with my wonderful festival team still, with some people I know 12 or longer years already.
Very nice, thank you. Sabi, let's end with you. Can you tell us a bit about KineDok Hungary and your personal attraction to this type of job?
I think first, most of the things are, I think, quite common in us. Mm-hmm. But of course, the love of documentaries, which was very important, that I really like this genre, and it was very important to share somehow with a wider audience. Very important for me, the event-based screenings. So I really enjoyed to create some kind of screening which is not stops at the moment when the dark is coming after the screening of the movie. So I really love this kind of somehow to work with the experience what we just had by a movie. And maybe the third thing, which is also, I have a lot of colleagues here, and sorry that I don't introduce you one by one, but I think it's very good thing that somehow someone who start to do this kind of job, like to create a community and screen movies, very nice people. And it's very good to work with nice people, because life is quite valuable to be with good people together. And this is a very important feeling for me during this job, that I really can work with people I love.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into details. Angelika, I'd like to ask you first. There's a chapter in the booklet that's called Navigating Technical Hurdles, and also many other chapters that kind of look deep into the challenges that you can have while organizing community screenings. Actually, at the beginning of the discussion, I wanted to tell you there's this saying that says there's no business like film business. I'm sure you've heard about it. So tell us, what was your worst screening ever and what happened?
For me, it's a little bit different than for the others, because normally I don't attend the screenings. The young people do them by themselves. And so I can lean back, and if they have technical problems, I'm really sorry for them, and they will tell me later.
So it's an educational process.
Yeah, sometimes when we are invited, we see it, but normally they are faster than us in getting over these technical problems. Sometimes not sometimes. Fortunately, only one time I sent the wrong film, but we do this project for 12 years now, and so I'm really happy to be able to say it's only happened one time. And the good thing was that they really liked it. They would have never chosen it. In the last month, there were 2 film screenings that could not happen because there were fights in front of the youth center, not because of the film, but because of other reasons. And this is bad and this is horrible. But on the other side, for us, it's very important to be not only in high schools. As you said before, in a surrounding where people attend film festivals or read newspapers or whatever, but also in areas where the young people would never have the idea saying, I now start organizing a film club with documentaries about human rights, but not because they don't like the films, but because they just don't know this, because it's far for them. And this is very valuable for us. Sometimes things like that happen.
Okay, thank you. Coming back to you, Sabi, you organize with KineDok the screenings in all kinds of events. We actually have a nice photo of a rooftop screening. Can I ask our technical support to show it just now? I think it's like somewhere, on the roof above ground.
Yes.
Would you? Yes. You can see that now. Can you tell us a bit about this event, and also, is there something, like, you have been organizing the screenings for a number of years now, if I understand correctly. Is there something you would have liked to know before that you had to learn during your work?
I don't organize the actual screenings. Mm-hmm. So what is very important for us in KineDok that we are kind of, we just help to the different screening venues, because they autonomous, very clever people who know their own audience. They know the locality around them. They are very good in building communities. So we really let them to work on their own. Mm-hmm. And for example, this photo is was taken in Miskolc, which is in the north east of Hungary. It's a bigger town, and those guys who screened there, it's called Kino Domino. They found out that each movie can move to another place. So they don't have one specific venue in the town, but they move with each movie to a different place, which is the perfect for the atmosphere of the movie. So this is, I think, probably this was a movie with some kind of, I don't know actually the event, what was it, but they are very good in event building. So probably it was a movie from Balkan. Mm-hmm. So they bring a band. They say that let's put it on the top of the town and make a party afterwards. Mm-hmm. So they really creative, and almost all of other places like this, that they know what they do, they know their own audience. What we can give them, it's like every year we meet them with a workshop. When we talk, they can share their experiences, and we present them the new catalog in a way, but we can let it go because they know what they do. During these 9 years, they become more professional than us. So we learn from them actually, and it's not just like I want to be polite, but really, so they're really good.
Thank you. Maybe I have a question for all of you now, because speaking of these venue managers, so if I understand correctly, it's like the person that organizes the screening event, that gets the movie, that knows the community, that gathers the data, knows how to do the PR, etc. What kind of skills do you think make a very successful venue manager from those of you that work with venue managers? You said you have learned from them yourself.
Yeah.
What
I don't like really this venue manager work. I don't like this manager word, but in KineDok we use this venue manager, so I had to adopt it.
But what do you need to be like a good one?
There is a chapter about it in the manual.
Of course.
Read it. But I will pass it because I have just talked.
Okay. Just one sentence, maybe.
Okay. So I think the most important is like some kind of braveness, because what was the most important, like we realized that not the venue is important, not like we dream about like how good it would be to in this big university town to have a venue, and no, you need a person, and that person can work even in a very small village with no people in the knowledge of that they actually need to watch documentaries, but someone start to do it and tell them that this is the thing you need, and they come from the field and they watch the documentaries. So the person is the most important, and the person has to be very enthusiastic. My English is very Balkan style, but I like it, if you understand. So, and the other thing is that they have to be brave, and they have this do-it-yourself attitude, that they don't wait for any kind of authorities, they don't wait something from above, they do it themselves. This is the most important skill.
Thank you. So that's a super important takeaway, that the number one thing is actually the person, not the place or the technical issues, but you need the enthusiasm, and that's the core of it all. Okay, Karla, would you like to share your experience with venue managers?
Yeah, I think what qualities or like what abilities the venue manager is supposed to have is, first of all, to be driven, to be like interested in new things, and also to be prepared to that not too many people may show up for the screening, that like it's not going to be successful from the start, that they need to also be able to learn a lot. They need to be able to watch other venue manager, for example, or like other people who are making events in general, to learn, because like many of our venue managers are not like skilled PR managers or like skilled event managers or anything like that. So they are like maybe librarians or like coffee shop owners, or maybe just like neighbors that like to make a screening for like their neighbors in their backyard or something. So they need to just like learn what works for their community. They need to see where is it the best to promote their event, or like if maybe Facebook works, or like other social media, or if maybe just word of mouth, or maybe just some town place where you put other like offers and events and all that. So that's what they really need to find out themselves. So their own initiative would be the most important thing.
So an enthusiastic person that knows the community and knows like how to reach the community. Is it social media? Is it like the local town hall? Is it maybe the local radio, such as that?
Yes, exactly. And also, especially for our selection of films, which are like human rights documentaries, they need to be prepared that there might be a very wild discussion afterwards, because not everybody like shares the same opinions as the movie presents, or like not everybody supports Ukraine, for example, or like some people like to attend these evenings just to voice their opinions. I would say it doesn't happen often, but there is a chance it might happen, especially in small towns. So they also might be prepared for that.
There's actually this one chapter also mentioned today, film screenings under social and political pressure. Would any of you like to share some experience with like a difficult discussion that you had to, that you like were attending in context of your movie? Rebecca?
Yeah, I think I have a great example of that.
So what happened?
So in March, we were about to screen this documentary called Innocence, which is a film that tackles the issue of the military in Israel and very critical towards Israel. And we chose this movie before 7th of October, and 10 days, like in the process of me planning and the whole event, the concept, reaching out to conversation partners or live acts and collaboration partners, everyone was a bit like hesitant towards, since it's such a controversial theme at the moment. And even like 10 days ahead, we were about to screen it. Our venue, where we usually have our screenings in, they didn't want to screen it, so they kind of censored us. So we had to make up another plan because we still wanted to screen this film. So we chose there is a cinema close to our venue that really, they are used to screen this difficult and controversial documentaries. So what I learned from that experience was basically that like the venue, like when you choose your venue where you screen the documentaries in, they necessarily don't have the same agenda as we do. Like we feel like it's important to reach out our documentaries, and we have to be know where we stand and why we have to screen it and have the right tools. And because of the other venue that we happened to be in, they have like, how to say, a routine for this controversial theme, controversial documentaries, a risk analysis and everything. They were like, oh, of course we're gonna screen this movie, there's not gonna be any issue. And also, end of all, we had like a sold out screening, that the director was there, we had an amazing Q&A by a very experienced moderator. So, yeah.
So what would your takeaways be from that experience? Like if you plan to screen a documentary about a topic that is controversial, that is, brings a lot of emotions, like the one you described, what would your recommendations be for like anybody else perhaps thinking about doing this type of event? It's an experienced moderator having the discussion, yes. Right? What else?
And also have a routine, like have a risk analysis.
Can you talk a bit?
Sorry?
Can you talk a bit about that? What's a risk analysis?
So what theme is in the documentary? What could happen if this happened? Do we have someone to take care of that problem? It's going to be if it's like if the audience is getting angry, who takes care of that? And what can happen? What cannot happen? And be prepared for the outcome.
Okay, well. Magdalena, I see you nodding. Is there anything you would like to add?
I think it was from the festival times when the most challenging guests are the ones who answer only with yes or no. And we experienced it a couple of times. So, for example, someone comes with a plane and stays 1 week, and then he has, for example, 3 Q&As, and the moderator talks 5 times longer than the guest, and everyone feels uncomfortable. So we took this experience to our project now. And for example, we try always to invite at least 2 or 3 guests, because if someone is in a bad mood or it's not feel comfortable to answer a question, because we show a very challenging film sometimes and raise a lot of topics about European Green Deal and climate action, there is still a person who is brave enough to answer. And the same moderator is very important. We try to work with young people because when you have young audience, it's better that they really can identify and are encouraged to ask questions as well.
Thank you for answers. Let's take a break from talking now and screen one of the short videos that we have prepared. I'd like to ask our technical support to screen the Promítej video, please. Thank you. And we'll just be showing like a minute and a half, just part of it.
Festival Jeden svět vybere každý rok ze 2000 přihlášených dokumentů 100 těch nejlepších. Ty nejlepší z nejlepších pak najdete na promítej.cz. Zdarma a legálně. Stačí pár kliknutí a můžete udělat kino kdykoliv, kdekoliv a pro kohokoliv. Promítej.cz. Promítat filmy nikdy nebylo tak snadné.
Jsme zvláštka. Obec zašla, provozuje relaxační centrum a můj muž Vláden k tomu dělá spoustu dalších aktivit.
No i s tebou, doufám, že i s tebou. My dva Vládní děláme.
Thank you. So they finished saying like the two crazy people us do all these crazy things together. So Karla, my question is, we spoke about the skills and we spoke about the skills that a venue manager has to have. What kind of personalities do you think tend to go into this project with you?
Well, probably some crazy people like these two. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, they have to be very, very enthusiastic, very like community driven. They have to have like big sense of community. They want to connect with other people around them. So, and do it via films and like films that you can have a discussion about.
Mm-hmm. If we go back to the venues, we saw a tent, we saw like a parking lot. Can you recall, like, my first question, are these like real places that you did screenings in, like a tent, for example? And what interesting places do you remember that, hosted screenings?
Yeah, well, our venue managers are usually doing the screenings completely by themselves, except for the like premieres when we launch some new film to our platform, when we have like new additional film, then we organize in cooperation with some of the ones who are like most active at the time, some like premiere screening that we offer some money for like refreshments or for like a guest to attend the discussion. So we are only attending these, but from what I can see from the list of our venue managers, there is like variety of places where they make the screenings. Usually it's indoors, but it can also be just like like I said, in the backyard of someone's house in the village, or like the video later showed a woman who just moved to a cottage and wanted to meet people. She was missing to have a cinema around, so she started making these screening herself, and like that would be probably it. Yeah. Also we have a lot of like school screenings, a lot of like from gymnasium, from like high schools to like universities of different subjects. They also pick some films to screen in the class or something like that.
That actually brings me to this interesting question, and I didn't tell you earlier, so if you don't have the data, I'm sorry. What's the age of the people that do these events? Do you have any idea? Is it like more younger people, for example, like we have in the audience now? Or,
I probably cannot tell you the exact data, but a lot of them are from the older side of of the rent. So it's probably like 40, 50-year-old people, because which is great, because that's what I was saying earlier, that like they are not skilled in like professional event planning and stuff, so they are learning by doing, and that's amazing.
That's the best. Learning by doing. Let's get back to Angelika. And may I ask for the photo we have him, Angelika, with the young people audience? So, as we haven't mentioned earlier, it's the right photo, right? Okay, you look so surprised.
No, because I sent some photos and I just wanted to see which one it is.
So they look very happy. How do you keep these young people so engaged? What's your secret?
Maybe that we are in contact with them right from the beginning. It's very sincere. They have to fill out the form and sign it.
Excuse me?
They have to fill out the form.
Okay.
Do you say formular?
Yeah.
And sign it. They find a name for the film club. We want to know the interests, and they have to tell us about their plans, and and they have to sign what they can do and what they cannot do. Maybe it's for us, the community building is maybe being in contact with them. And I thought about the question before, which people make these kind of screenings, because I don't know if she's on it or if she makes the photo. There's always one responsible person who communicates with us and who do the film club. Sometimes there are 5 or 6, but for us one person is the important one. And they're really different. There are film club responsibles from from each social background, from each social class. They have migrant or refugee background or don't. They're girls, boys, absolutely different. But some of them are very shy, some are not. So it's really different. In the beginning, I always thought, wow, this person, she must or he must really be good at school, communicate so good, and is so interested in films and the topics. And I was always surprised that when they were not.
They were like terrible in school.
Yeah, sometimes, absolutely. And absolutely different.
So very good like leaders of a film club, but not interested in school at all. So this was like your, what did they learn in your association?
We found out that maybe one person in a year, sometimes not even one, founds a film club because they're interested in films. The rest of them are interested in the topics. And when the first film they see, and they choose the right one, if maybe we help them and we can be very happy, they want to see more. And then they're really in. And if there is a little success at the beginning, and I always tell them, also there might be no success, and you don't have to do a big event. Let's start slowly and small. Feel comfortable, choose the film you want to see, or you choose them together. Then it works.
Wow, that's wonderful. That really sounds wonderful. So slowly coming to the end of our discussion, is there anything else you'd like to share? We have like covered so many interesting topics. Anything that kind of rings in your head? I see Rebecka looking at me. I actually see all of you looking at me.
Maybe I was thinking how to be like a good event manager.
Okay,
because that's like my biggest job. Like how to get to know your audience, how to make them feel engaged and activate them, and find different ways of bringing different kind of ages to your documentary screening. So our audiences that comes is everyone out from 18-year-old to 75. So it's like a wide range of ages. So it's the most important, obviously, it's like to be enthusiastic, passionate, and finding new ideas. And one way of doing that is to build concept to each screening. For example, in February we screened a documentary called Smoke Sauna Sisterhood, which is about...
Very good. I highly recommend that.
Yes, me too. A documentary about women healing together in a smoke sauna in Estonia. So to this event we were booking a live musician and yoga teacher they made a performance before the documentary. So our audience they did yoga together, like a room full with 150 people sitting on their chairs, and they really created that vibe that the documentary were about healing together. So that's like a way of activating your audience, for example, and also to collaborate with different organizations. So for this night we were collaborating with a sauna society, sauna club in Malmö. So all of their members were there, and also our regular audience could do, if they got interested of sauna, they were there, so they could become a member of sauna. So it's like the sauna society. So that's like a perfect example how to work with engaging the audience, for example.
Have any of you organized a screening in a sauna? Not yet.
No.
Okay. Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed. And yes, is there anything you'd also like to share?
Yes. I would like to share something which was during the screening of controversial movies, how to handle it. I think it's a very important thing, and it's also connected a little bit to the personality of the venue manager, let's call it,
Indeed.
and also to how you choose a movie. And I was thinking about it, and I think at the introduction we were talking about like the documentaries, and we talk about community, and we talk about social change. And we want the society to change, but if we ourselves cannot change. So I think it's very important that the guys who make this, or girls,
everyone.
So everyone who make this kind of things, they change during this event. So I think it's very important that in documentaries, as the movie itself, like a documentary filmmaker is changing with during the process of making the movie, the same kind of dialogue has to be during the screenings. And let's call them venue managers, also have to go through this kind of thing. So for example, if there is a controversial screening of a movie, if you're ready to change your mind, if there is some kind of how you call it, understandable maybe outcry from the audience, and you immediately can change, you are ready to get in dialogue and to not be strict like this, you know. I think this is also a very important, call it like personal skill, or not a skill, it's an attitude, but actually a documentary is about this attitude. This is what I want.
Yeah, great. Maybe I would like to add something. I think it's also important to be authentic. So for example, and yes, we are now in this field of green events, but I think nowadays it's really important to ask yourself, do I really need to print these papers? Can I make it maybe in a other way, innovative way? For example, we don't have a lot of prints, and luckily our sponsors don't insist on this. We printed handcrafted plantable cards, for example, so there is information how to find us, and then everyone can plant it and make Europe really greener. So I even brought some of them today. And also for the posters, for example, you can always print smaller size and maybe on recycled paper, and then just move to communication to social media, because it's also a great way to interact with your audience.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And thanks for sharing all of your experiences. We're really coming to an end now because I see the time is getting tight. But at the end of interviews, I generally love to give this small gift to the audience and all of us sitting here. And that's a recommendation. We have just spoken about letting the movies and the documentaries influence us as well and change us. So what kind of, can you name one movie that the audience can check out, find either online or somewhere else? And this can be a movie that is online or is at this festival One World and being screened. Can I ask for your recommendations, please? Yes? That will be the final question.
So should it be one that we are offering at Promítej, or?
It can be any movie that has moved you and is accessible legally, and the audience can check it out.
Well, from our selection, I would recommend the documentary called Women Behind the Wheel, which is a British documentary of two women that are traveling the Pamir Highway in Asia, and they are learning about how women are living in different states along the way. And it's very interesting to see so many brave women that are living under conditions that we cannot even imagine here in Central Europe. So that's the one from our selection. And on this festival, the one that I loved the most is the one that is not probably as accessible anywhere, but it's called Nits Island, and it's completely shot in a video game, DayZ, which is a Czech video game, but it's a French documentary, and it's almost like a philosophical insight of a gaming community, which was very interesting to me.
Thank you. Angelika?
Regarding this festival, it's very difficult for me because I saw 6 films and all of them were really, really great. And as I expected this...
Good job.
As I expected this question, I had a look which one of them is still screened tomorrow, and it is one of them is White Angel, The End of Marinka, I think it's called. The other one is The Accidental President, about Belarus and Svetlana Tikhovskaya. The other ones, Petrol, if you can see it, was really interested about Nicaragua. And from the film clubs, one film that is loved by the young people since years is Sonita, a film that we found here at the festival. It's about a young Afghan girl who lives as a refugee in Iran and wants to start a career as a rapper, but her family is against it and they want to force her into a marriage. And she does not agree and takes action. And I don't want to make a spoiler. If you can find it, watch it.
Oh, what's the name again?
Sonita.
Sonita, okay. Thank you. Rebecca?
Yeah, and I want to recommend the movie I was talking about, Smoke Sauna Sisterhood. It's a documentary by Anna Hintz, and it's not only because the documentary itself tackles interesting and very important subjects of womanhood and sisterhood, but also about the amazing directorial work behind it, how as a director you have to work with how does she create this safe space to be able to film in such an intimate environment as in a sauna with naked female bodies, and the aesthetic part about it, and also the practical part, because of the whole movie is 1.5 hours, and most part of the movie is filmed inside this small little sauna in 100 degrees. How was she even manage to do that with the film camera? So I think you can watch it on Apple TV, and if you do so, please also watch the Q&A with her on YouTube because it's very interesting.
I have to check that out. Okay.
Yes, I arrived today at 3 o'clock, so I didn't have time to watch films here yet, but I would like to recommend a film from our streaming platform. You will find addresses here. It's a documentary, it's a collaboration between several countries, also including Czech Republic. And the name is Generation Change, Who Saves the World? And it's for free, so when you go to the streaming platform, you will find this. It's about climate action. Young activists from Austria goes with the train to several countries, talk with young people. And this is film which really makes hope that a better future is possible, thanks to all of us.
I want to add something. I'm really sorry that the Let's See Film Festival is over, because it was a great film festival at Vienna and they had really good films.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We have high school students here.
Indeed.
Okay, then I will recommend two movies. One will be today in here in One Word. I haven't seen it, but it's made by a friend of mine. It's called Kicks, and I think it's a good idea to recommend you, because I really like that kind of movies which can authentically talk about the younger generation, even though it's made by an elder person. So this is definitely one movie which is really about youth today. And Divas, which was a part of KineDok catalog last year. It's also a quite good movie about three girls just before the high school last exam, and what's behind the makeup. And it's very, very exciting movie. I hope you can find it somewhere. So it's called Divas, one of them, and the other one is Kicks. Both of them made by Hungarian directors, and this would be my recommendation now.
Thank you, thank you. It's time to wrap up now, so let's give a big round of applause for Szirony, Magdalena Żelasko, Rebecka Borgström, Angelika Schuster, and Karla Melichnová. Thank you all for coming. If you have any questions, please feel free to come up to my guests. They'll be all around here. They'll be in the foyer. They'll be having wine. They'll be having coffee. Just come up to them and ask anything you want. And you can also come up to me and ask me anything if you want, if you like. And yeah, that's it. Last but not least, I would love to say thank you to Ivana Forminová and Dominik Vontor, who organized the event and have done so much to make this successful. Thank you so much, guys. See you later.
I'm sorry. I will put the cards on the stage, so please take.
Okay, thank you to this crew as well. It was amazing ride, even for you. I hope you enjoyed it, or at least I feel that you really enjoyed it. And not only because she knew how to say anketa in English, which is survey, I want to thank to our interpreter who was interpreting the film introductions.
Thank you to our panelists, thank you to the wonderful teams and to our mentors, and thank you, dear audience, that you have spent the last 2 hours with us, revealing all the soft spots and sharing all the soft spots. And I would love to actually invite you to continue in the foyer. We have some drinks and refreshments ready for you to discuss what you have just experienced. I just want to also add that the manual is already available online. You can access it on your mobile phones or on the website. So we would be really happy for your feedback and if you share it among your communities.
And thank to the technicians of this venue, thank to Institute of Documentary Film, thank to everyone who supports KineDok and who is part of the community events, even if they are not film related. We are very happy that you are here with us, and in these times it's really important to be and to work as one organism. So thank you very much for staying here with us until the very, very end.
Thank you.
And thank you to Ivana.
Thank you, Dominik.